I'm your host, Anthony Tank Mansfield. And with me today is...
Heather Sampanis.
And...
Luke Effler.
And this is What You Into.
What you into? What you into?
All right, hey everybody, we're back in the basement. No band practice today. I'm sorry I brought you both into a basement. I don't have instruments for either of you.
I thought about bringing one.
You thought about it?
I thought about it.
What were you going to bust out? Were you going to bust out like a ukulele or something?
No, I just would have brought like an acoustic guitar. Just because every other time I've been on, I've brought something with me. So I was like, I need to have something. So I brought beer instead.
That's true. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Listener, you know that voice. That's Luke Effler. He's back on the show. Luke, fourth time. Rick, welcome to the Ric Flair Club. Woo! And Heather, first time on the show ever. Thank you so much for coming in and doing this. I appreciate you.
You bet. I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah, like this is one of those things where I was just like, okay, how can I get you on the show? And then I was trying to figure it out, and then I was like, how do I get you back on? And I was like, oh, they're like my cool friends that are actually in bands. And I was like, I have lots of questions about this because, and we'll get into it in the episode, but I've done another band episode before, but I was interviewing like three guys that went on tour when they were like 19 and they like did like one national tour. So that was kind of a cool episode because we talked about like touring for them. But on this episode, I'm interested in talking to you all about this balance you all have going on with like your professional people that have jobs, you have families, and you have a love for music and how you balance this triangle. So yeah, we're going to get into all that during the show.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
I'm into it.
Before we do that, let's hit some plugs. You know where to find me at Neil to No One on Instagram is where I'm at. You can follow everything else through there. My link tree is there. You can also find Luke. He's over there on IG, General Walcott. And you can also find him playing in his band 10 Gauge. That's the number 10 Gauge. You guys are on Spotify. Where else can people check out the music
Yeah,
at?
Spotify and Bandcamp.
Spotify and Bandcamp is the place to be?
Yep.
Cool. And Heather, you can find her on IG at Stumbelina. Did I say that right? Stumbelina.
Yep.
And bass player for Alex Casnell and the board of directors. Did I fuck that up?
No, you got it.
Hell
Nailed
yeah,
it.
dude. Oh, man. Names are the hardest part of the show. The two hardest part of the show is the opening and names.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh,
And the opening is mostly names.
yeah,
So.
we're past the opening. We're past names. We're good. We're clean living after this. But yeah, you're playing bass for them, and then you guys have the company picnic festival at Oddfellows coming up in March 23rd in OTR. What's that about?
So the company picnic festival is the board of directors just trying to do our due diligence to foster local DIY scene, local and regional. We're bringing in 12 bands from 5 states in the area, as well as featuring 4 singer-songwriters from Ohio and a local stand-up comedian as well.
Okay,
So,
nice.
Who are you most excited about?
Which band?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. That's a really hard question to answer.
Or give me a couple. I'm just curious who's coming, you know?
Yeah, so we've got from Columbus, we have a band called ASMR and the Plan Bs, who we've played with a couple of times before.
Nice.
They're a lot of fun. We've got our friends from St. Louis, Ben Diesel and the band The Stars Go Out. They're both pop punk bands that are coming out. Our friends from Louisville, FMK. They're a punk trio. We've got our best friend Misunderstood, punk band from Richmond, Indiana. The Remote Controls out of Indianapolis are coming. I don't want to forget anybody, but there are so many.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, for being put on the spot, yeah, you busted a half dozen bands. Feel free, you're good. Yeah. Luke, fucking quit gatekeeping over here. This name 3 bands bullshit you got going on.
No. That's not where I'm going.
Will the board of directors be giving us free pizza so that we don't form a union
Oh, God.
at the company picnic?
Well, it's a picnic, so, Maybe hot dogs.
Okay. You might be able to quell me from for a better wage if you are giving me free hot dogs.
We'll see what we can do about that.
Right on.
Oddfellows does have good pizza though.
Nice. Hell yeah. What's it like booking a festival like this? Like having to reach out and like find people from other states. Like how do you make this work?
So most of the bands that are coming out are bands that we've played with either in their cities or have invited out here before. The only exception to that, I think, are the Bellmarks out of Michigan, who we had a show booked with, but due to illness, that kind of fell through. So, we've just sort of networked with these people over the course of the last year and have reached back out to them, and they've all been really receptive to the idea of coming and filling out the lineup with us. So
very cool.
Yeah,
this is awesome. Other stuff you got going on right now. You got a new EP out called Parachute. And it's on vinyl.
It is.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
wow, that's a big step there to be like, hey, we believe in enough to put it on vinyl. What was the process like of doing that?
Of having the vinyl pressed?
Yeah. Of just like making that decision to be like, hey, we're doing vinyl for this.
Oh yeah, that's a great question. It's something that we've wanted to do since the inception of the band, and it just seemed like the right format for this particular grouping of songs. So we shopped around. We found I think a great deal with a company that took really good care of us, and we're really happy with the result. So
Nice.
Is it a 7-inch or a 12-inch?
it's a 12-inch,
Nice.
yeah, but it's 4 songs on side A and nothing
Blank
on side
on the
B.
back.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Nice. That's awesome.
yeah.
What was it like when you got your original vinyl in the mail? Like,
Oh my God.
Did you have a fangirl freak out moment?
100%. Yeah. It's so exciting. And then we had this whole assembly line thing too, where it's like, we had to put the vinyls into the sleeves and then into the jackets and put the hype stickers on. So we literally sat in our practice space one night for like 2 hours and just everyone had like a little
Assembled
stack.
A little thing they did to do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. It's really fun. Now we get to like mail them out to people. So that's pretty cool too.
Where can people get the album at?
Oh, they can find us on Bandcamp. If you search Alex Kaznel, that's Kasznel, you can find us pretty much anywhere. But it's a very Google searchable name. But yeah, you can order the vinyl on Bandcamp, or you can come to one of our shows and buy it from us in person. We'll sign it for you.
Right on. Yeah, and then where else can they find you online? Like on Spotify, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff?
All of that. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so
all the streaming sites, YouTube, social media, Alex Kaznel, you'll find us.
Okay, if you have the internet, we can hear you play bass.
Yes, correct.
Excellent. All right, so opening segment tonight. So, Luke, you've been on 4 times. Just chill out, man. Take a seat for a second. No, I'm playing.
Quit hogging the mic,
Yeah, quit hogging
dude.
the mic, Luke. We're talking Heather for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
So, first thing that pops up in your IG bio, costumer. What the hell is a costumer?
So my big kid job is that I work at the University of Cincinnati in the theater department as the, I have to remember my title, it's fairly new, the design associate / costume shop coordinator. So my background is in costume design. My current role is to support student designers, helping them sort of find all the bits and pieces that they need to make their dreams come true. As well as I coordinate our costume stock, which is like basically a gigantic closet full of clothes that we can rent out to other people, or I can pull things from to help support the design of the students that we have in our program. As well as I do all the shopping. I will coordinate rentals from other theaters. So, yeah, that's what I do.
My job's not that cool.
No. I mean, I sell beer, so it's kind of cool.
Your job's pretty cool. You got a really cool job.
Did you go to art school? Did you do textiles or anything like
I
that?
actually went to CCM as a student.
Nice.
And yeah, I got a bachelor's of fine arts in costume design. Then went out into the world and worked as a freelance designer for a while. And then worked in a similar role to what I'm in now at Cincinnati Playhouse in the Park until recently. I just joined the team at CCM in November.
This is where we put our Bachelor of Arts, like
I know all of us
Yeah.
together.
our rings in the middle, and
Are we all BFAs?
I'm a BFA.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm a BFA. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Fine arts painting, baby.
Yeah, I do
All
painting as well.
right.
Yeah. Look at us.
Painting and illustration.
Yep. Yep.
And all gainfully employed.
Yeah, that's right.
All
It
gainfully
goes
employed.
somewhere, Mom. You know, it goes somewhere, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all have a skill of things we can do. Yeah, we're doing okay. We're doing all right.
Trust the process.
Yeah, that's right. Dude, can you run a sewing machine?
Can I what?
Can you run a sewing machine?
Run a sewing machine?
Yeah.
No.
I cannot either. All right. Bowing down. I
Ah.
because what you do impresses me because like if I was like put in a situation where somebody gave me like a sewing machine and then like pieces of like an outfit and be like build this or die, I'm like fuck man, like
It's your jigsaw trap.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's it's my saw. Yes, exactly. You have 20 minutes to put this together. Get your head ripped off.
make this t-shirt.
I throw you in a pit of hypodermic needles. It's like, fuck, this sucks. Yeah. So yeah, I'm always impressed by that. What is it like having to deal with costumes of like from different eras and stuff? Like, is like something that is to look like it's from like maybe on like the 1800s versus something now, like is the stitching and stuff in it different, or is it still kind of the same because it's all built for humans?
That's a great question. Yeah, the construction techniques have developed over time, and that's actually one of the things I nerd out the most about in costuming is costume history. So when you're learning to be a costumer, it's sort of a marriage of learning the construction techniques and learning, the visual history and the design elements and how to put those together. Because depending on, or really no matter whether you're going into costume construction as a person who's actually working a sewing machine or doing the patterning, or a costume designer, you have to have like a working knowledge of, those style lines and how things are put together in order to communicate with each other. So,
Right on.
yeah.
Nice. What is it like building costumes for people that are like abnormally sized, like very large people, like tall people? How does that affect what you're doing?
When it comes to building those things, it's not that much different than, building for your sort of standard like musical theater body type. Opera is a thing, and those body types run the gamut in terms of shapes and sizes. The difficulty is when you're shopping for someone with a different body type. Sometimes finding those sizes or making things work that you have in stock can be a little challenging, but that's why we like to build stuff, because we can make things custom to fit people and make them feel great in their clothes.
Hell yeah.
I love having people tailor stuff to me. It feels so good when you get something that's made specifically for you.
Totally.
Yeah, it's because man, there is so many times when I try on even like t-shirt stuff where I'm like, this does not fit me, and it's one of those things where it's like the tag says it should fit me, but it doesn't,
Yeah.
or vice, and sometimes it's too small, it's too large, the arms are too long, it's really hard depending on your body to find stuff that properly fits.
Yeah.
Well, and retail sizing is, no, it's okay. Retail sizing is just so like,
Scattershot.
yeah, totally. It's like
is.
arbitrary. So
Yeah.
you're just kind of taking a shot in the dark when you buy something in like the size that you think you wear, whether it's actually going to fit your body or not. So
Yeah, I kind of go between two sizes, and like I'm kind of tall and skinny, so like some sizes that should fit me are like belly shirts, and then if I get the next size up, it's like wearing a trash bag. So there's like not really any, it's just totally like guessing game a lot of times.
Yeah. And I'm on the opposite end of this where like I'm short and wide. So if I underestimate, I end up looking like I'm wearing like the Hardy Boys from like early 2000s like clubbing shirts, or I go too big and then I am wearing a big trash bag, and then I just like I look like Action Bronson before the weight loss, and it's just like, oh man, this is a bad look. So yeah, it's sometimes it's just hard out there to find shit that fits.
yeah, agreed.
Do you have a favorite material to work with?
Oh, wow. What a great question. So I don't do a whole lot of costume construction these days. But one material that I do really enjoy working with is called scuba knit. And it's almost like neoprene, but it's sort of thinner. You can cut it into all kinds of crazy shapes because you don't have to do anything to finish the edges if you don't want to. It's not going to fray. And it holds its structure really well. So you can do some really sort of fantastic shapes and silhouettes with it. So, yeah, that's a fun one to work with. I couldn't care less if I never touched chiffon again for the rest of my life.
Okay, why?
It's just very difficult to work with. It falls apart as you're working with it. You have to do these very delicate, sort of hems and seams with it. And I mean, it looks beautiful when it's well done, but it is not fun to work with.
Okay. Oh, fair enough.
I'm getting an education over here.
Dude, I'm in the same boat right now. I did not even know what chiffon was, and all of a sudden, now I know I hate it. Well, look, let's go from one stage to another. Let's talk about the main event here tonight. Let's talk about making some music. So, when did you two first start playing music, and like, how did you get into it? Because like, I'm somebody who I've listened to music all my life. I tried playing bass for like 6 months when I was in high school. I was like, I'm really bad at this. I'm going to stop doing this. But I kept listening to music. When did you two have that point where you were like, hey, I want to actually try this thing?
I'll go. Yeah. I would say probably like most people, I got a guitar for Christmas when I was like 12 or 13 or something like that. And, everybody you knew was getting like a guitar for Christmas. And that was kind of to your point, like you wanted to try something out, right? Because you're getting into music for the first time really at an impactful age at that time. Mm-hmm. So I started playing then. But like really, I think like for me, I wasn't as good of a guitarist as I am now, obviously, when I was 12 or 13 and didn't care as much as I do now. It was a lot of like building over the years and, taking breaks from it and coming back to it and things like that and getting to a point where, I don't know, like in high school, got more serious about it and started playing more regularly and really developing that way. But I don't know. That's probably what I would say for my moment. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Did you have musicians in your family or?
Yeah, I did. Neither of my parents are musicians. My mom played guitar a little bit, like in high school, like the same thing, right? Or whatever, picked it up in her early years. But my grandpa, her dad, was he played big band and swing music and played stand-up bass from like age 16 till he passed. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so cool. He's the main musician in my family. So I have like a lot of cousins too. We were talking before this, but there's other cousins that play guitar and stuff like that, but that's like the main musician in my family.
Awesome.
Yeah. What about you?
I also had a grandfather who was very musical. He had an acoustic guitar and used to play a lot of sort of, campfire, like country and Western songs. So that's sort of my earliest exposure to actually interfacing with music. My parents got me piano lessons when I was little because I was really interested in the piano at my grandparents' house, but I was not at all interested in learning theory or practicing. I just wanted
that's
to
the story,
plunk
right?
out tunes. Yeah. And then I started playing trombone when I was in 6th grade and played that all the way through 12th grade. And I first picked up a guitar probably around the same age, about 12 or 13.
Wait. We're saying we're playing trombone. Are we in the marching band?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Marching band, jazz band, symphonic band, the whole thing. Yeah.
How did you figure out the bone is the way to go?
So my dad played trombone in high school and still had his trombone like in storage. And so when it was like 6th grade, time to pick an instrument, he hauled it out and I loved it immediately and just never even considered playing anything else.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So is The Music Man your favorite, movie? Because he has 76 trombones and all that, right?
It's definitely up there for me. Yeah, it's a great musical. Yeah, and then sometime in junior high, probably 7th grade or so, I had friends that were playing guitar, and I started getting into like alternative music, and I used babysitting money to buy like a shitty Kramer from a pawn shop, and same kind of thing as Luke, just kind of fiddled around with it mostly. I did take lessons for a little while, but again, wasn't like too interested in practicing like I should.
Sure.
I was in a ska band in high school. And then when I was in college, I barely touched my guitar. It was like really on and off for a long time. Mm-hmm. And then that continued into adulthood. And then just a little over a year ago, I just really got the itch to pick up the bass, and I bought one. And I joined this band in February, and I've been pretty much playing every day ever since.
Oh, so you're pretty new to bass.
I am.
Wow,
brand new.
that's
yeah.
awesome.
1 year in.
Yeah,
So
cool.
yeah.
Does having that background from like learning to play like trombone, does that help to transfer to now that you able to, so you can transition back in?
It's a great question because, yeah. So learning the bass for me, it was a lot more about technique, just holding the instrument differently than you hold a guitar and things like that. But I think having that foundation in a low brass instrument really does translate to sort of the low end in a rock band. So yeah, I think having the little bit of guitar knowledge and the trombone knowledge, kind of mashing them together, works really well for learning the bass.
Nice.
Luke, when you were like when you were playing before you got into your band you're in now, were you in other bands before this?
Yeah, for sure. The one that I was in most recently before the current one was I was actually playing drums in. And so it's kind of funny because it was called the Nosebleeds, which is also the name of Morrissey's first band, which I brought up very early on. I wasn't like one of the first people to start this band. They added me because they needed a drummer. And I'm competent on drums. I'm fine. I'm not, anything special, but, so I played with them, and to make my point, I guess, like, it's kind of funny because a lot of those guys, we still are all in bands together in some regard. It's kind of like an incestuous, like, we just like split into like 3 different bands instead of that one, but yeah. So I was in that one, and I've been in other ones like in high school and things like that. I played with other, as much as you can play with a band in high school, but yeah.
So okay, so how did you? So you said you like. How did you find this band? Like, was it? Because you said you picked up the bass and then you were like, oh, I was joining this band. Like,
Yeah.
Was it a friend? Did you answer or something in the mail or like on a message board or what?
Yeah. So I love this question too. So when I first got my bass and was learning to play it, my idea for how to keep myself sort of like interested and committed to it was like, I'm just going to start a YouTube channel and I'm going to record myself playing NoFX covers. And that's just going to be my goal. I'm just going to like knock out these videos and post them. And so I did that. But the process of learning a song and playing it and recording it and like making a video just really got me like itchy to play with other musicians again, which I hadn't done for a very long time. And I kind of stumbled on this website / app called Bandmix, which is like Tinder for musicians. And I submitted that first video that I made and set up a profile. And I talked to a couple different people. One of the first people to reach out to me was Alex Casanel, who had just recorded an album and was looking to put a band together to start playing out. So he was sort of using this album that he had recorded but not released yet, almost like a recruiting tool. Like, here's what I envision this band sounding like. Mm-hmm. And he sent me the tracks and I was super into it. And it was actually just about almost exactly 1 year ago today. On February 19th, we had our first practice together. And we had a drummer the following week. And we've been playing together ever since.
Trio.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it similar to NoFX? You doing covers of The Decline and things like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, The Decline, super easy cover. It's funny that you asked, though, because we actually did record a NoFX cover recently, which is, we did a version of I'm Telling Tim, which is going on a double colored vinyl release of 60, I think, NoFX covers. As a tribute to their retirement, alleged retirement.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they keep adding dates to that fucking retirement tour.
Right,
I keep having these things pop up where it's like, oh, we forgot we're gonna be in Australia. It's like, oh yeah,
they'll be playing again in like 20 years. I mean, if they're, it's
I mean, not even 20. It's gonna, I mean, it's gonna be like 5 or less because it'll be the whole thing where like they'll eventually just be like, I mean, we had a pretty good gig going there. Well, and it's a good retirement plan now. We're like, if you just play like a few big festivals every year, you get a huge check and it's just show up on a Saturday.
Yeah. And if you take those 5 years off, then people are like clamoring to see you the next time you
Exactly.
go out because they're not
then it's a
sure,
reunion.
Yeah.
Think about Rage Against the Machine. It's like every time they play again, it's like, oh, I might have to go to that show.
Yeah.
Who knows,
They might go away again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is
my last chance.
Which is what they did again. Apparently, they're no longer touring because whatever they have with Zach De La Rocha, they just couldn't make it work live, and now they're off again.
Yeah.
So, which is a bummer because I've still yet to see them live
Never
ever.
have either.
Probably not going to ever get to see them live at
Yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
So
That's funny though, because I'll mention that is like in terms of like picking up the guitar for the first time when you're 12 or 13 years old. One of the first riffs that I ever learned was like Bulls on Parade.
oh really?
Yeah, it's like Nirvana and Jimi Hendrix and Rage Against the Machine were like three of the first that I was ever like.
It was
I
Brie
need-
and Stew for me.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
how I
yeah,
learned
for
power
sure. Yeah.
chords.
Well, yeah, little Green Day. Yeah,
Dun, 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 dun.
definitely power chords.
Yeah, everything you said right now, like in my head, I'm like hearing the riff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can totally see like why children are able to play this. Because what did you just say was your first one?
So it would be like Bulls on Parade
Yeah.
and Smells
Dun,
Like Teen
dun,
Spirit.
dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's like,
those are
okay.
all power chords. Yeah, and to your point earlier too about like doing some guitar lessons but not really sticking with it, I did that as well. My parents got me guitar lessons for my birthday or something, and I did learn how to play like a Jimi Hendrix song during that. But like the frustration I had with that was I also didn't want to practice, but like I wanted to learn a lot of songs quickly, and
Yeah.
that was not how that operated, because you were like, let's learn one song and learn it all the way through over the course of 6 weeks. And I'm like, I want to do a song every week. You know what I mean? But I also
I
didn't
want
wanna-
to talk about chord structure.
Correct. Right.
Just
Just
give me
show
the
me how to do
tabs.
it so I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Look, I'm doing the big work at home. I got the rock kicks down.
Right.
I'm headbanging in sequence. I'm working with this new crab thing the kids are talking about right now. Attack! I don't know if you've heard of them.
Crab core.
Like, I'm doing the heavy lifting at home. So if we could speed up the whole you teaching me songs process.
Right.
Yeah. Who needs technique? you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, we're good. We got it covered. All right. Well, let's talk about this in the here and now. How do you two do this balance of like your parents? You both have a full-time job and you're making music. How do you balance these three things?
Go ahead.
Sure. Not without help. I'm very fortunate to have a lot of support at home. I have 3 children, ages 15, 8, and 7. So my kids are now old enough that they don't need me 24/7, which, I wouldn't have been able to do this 6 or 7 years ago. My oldest is old enough to babysit for short periods of time, which is super helpful. So yeah, and luckily, my bandmates are also both, full-time employed human beings with lives too. So we're able to work our schedules out. I think being a trio helps too, just having fewer people to try to coordinate with. But they, meaning my band, has been very understanding about my obligations at home, and we have sort of like an understanding about like how often we can go play gigs out of town, or how often we can go on tour and for how long and all that kind of stuff. And they've been really great and really flexible with that too. So, yeah, it really is just a balancing act, and can't do it alone.
Luke, what about you, man? Like, how does this work for you?
Yeah, so you said your kids are older and you can like kind of get away with some of that sometimes. My kids are younger. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and so I cannot go on tour.
Right.
It's just not possible.
No.
My wife does support me though, for sure. And my bandmates don't have kids. But they're also like, I guess our focus has been more like less on touring and shows and more on just like playing together and recording music and, making records and stuff. And so it's kind of been like whenever we're able to, we get time. And, we recorded the album we did during COVID primarily. And it was like over the course of 2.5 years that we kind of put it together. So it was really
wow.
just like piecemeal, like, when is Luke able to get together with the other 2 guys, and when can we sit down and write songs and record things and get things together? I'm working on some stuff with one of the guys a little bit right now, and it is kind of just like making my schedule work and then finding the time. And so that's kind of been the difficult part about it. 'Cause like, you want to be there for your kids as well. Right. And so
Absolutely.
it becomes like if that's the thing you want to do with your time, then that is like your, however often you're able to get away from your spouse and your kids and stuff and like spend a little bit of time doing something else, it becomes like the thing that you have to make your focus. And
Yeah.
so for me, it's like, just figuring out when I want to prioritize that and when that becomes, the thing that I want to focus on for a given amount of time. So I'm always playing by myself, but obviously to your point too, like getting to play with other people is why you do it. And so finding those times is like, I guess it requires, an understanding partner and also a lot of planning. And so that's basically what I would say. That's a long-winded way of answering the question, but
I think understanding bandmates go a long way too.
yeah, for sure.
sounds
And
like.
and the guys that I play with are like super even keel.
Yeah.
So they get it, and they're
That's great.
great creatives, and I love playing with them. So
Awesome.
So as an illustrator, this sounds like a mixture of a very big pro and a very big con to me is the thing involving other people. Because what I do, it's me, and or even this podcast, it's me. It's just I'm a singular machine. I make the decisions. This is the way we're going. This is it. But on the flip side of it, it's two things you both lit up. I just saw it right now when you talked about playing with other people, and you talked about you were wanting to get back to that earlier, and then you just saying it now. What is it about playing with other people that is special? Like, why?
I really like. So I come from an art background too. We discussed this before on the podcast, but I like the creative aspect of writing music and recording music and making things sound the way you want them to sound. And the fun thing for me about playing with other musicians is bouncing creative ideas off of each other and kind of coming to, like, you learn things about yourself and how you think through a song via how somebody else does, right? So the really interesting thing for me is like being with someone who's like-minded and wants to write really fun and interesting music, but goes about it in a totally different way. So like when you're doing a drawing, it's all your own ideas and you don't have something that pushes against what you would typically go to do. But when you're playing across from somebody and they're like, oh, what if we did it like this? It forces you to like change something in the way that you're, trying to develop this idea. And so that's one of the things I really like about it because it is just like sort of push and pull, right?
Yeah. That's a really good point. Yeah, I don't write music, but I also really enjoy that creative sort of collaborative process. The way that you hear something or practice something could change dramatically the first time you play through it with your bandmates, and sort of getting that feedback or that, the other influences from other people or how they see or hear things is always really interesting to me. Even we changed drummers in October. And even just that has dramatically shifted the way that we play a lot of our songs, just bringing a different musician with a different perspective into the room.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that sort of give and take. And, when you're working on something solo, which I do that a lot too, not with music, but other mediums, it's sometimes you just get too close to it and you sort of lose that sense of perspective. So having other people to collaborate with is always really kind of refreshing and exciting.
I think I remember something that was said to me in art school was like, hey, I know you guys don't really like critique right now, but this is like one of the last times you're ever really going to get it, because for the rest of your life, you probably won't have people that are interested enough in what you're doing to like give you feedback on if it's good or bad or not.
Yeah.
Like, because you're not going to like have a studio mate to be like, hey, what do you think about this today? You're not going to have that. You're going to be doing a lot of stuff where you're going to be kind of guiding yourself. So, I know from that perspective, like wanting to go out and like be part of things like Six Bomb Boards and like other communal art stuff where I'm like, I want to be around other artists. I can talk to people and get feedback and also just be with peers. I feel like that feels good to be with other people like my age or that are like, oh, I also make weird shit and I'm creative. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like these are my people.
It'll also like inspire you in different ways, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. 100%.
That's a good point too about peers, because I think at our age, it's difficult to make new friends or, meet people. If you're a single person, it's difficult to find, people that you want to date. So getting out and doing creative things with other people that are interested in the same things as you are at our age, I think is really important to like establishing and fostering those relationships.
Yeah, 100%. It is harder the older you get to find new relationships and maintain old ones. You know, it's a
Totally
lot.
Yeah.
It's really a thing, and it's something. And I talked about this on a recent episode. And I'm still thinking about it right now. Is just like one of the reasons that like women outlive men is because usually women like actually keep friendships longer, and men just like the older they get, they stop talking and they regress into themselves, and you just get to a point where you're just like, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh man, I want to avoid that. Like I
Yeah.
want to keep active and talking
Totally.
to people and having conversations and
Absolutely.
doing stuff. Yeah. So that scares me, the idea of like getting to a point where I'm like, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. But at the same time, I do feel myself having that where I don't want to meet a lot of new people and I don't want to talk to a lot of people. Like, and there's a lot of times where I don't talk, and I just, you know, cause like, I don't want to talk about the fucking weather, you know, and just like
Yeah.
all the mundane day-to-day shit. I just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm going to talk to you, I want to have a conversation where I learn something and we actually talk of something.
Or
of
you nerd
substance.
out about Akira and cool t-shirts. You know? Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Thank you. Yeah. Important shit, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. I
Re-
would rather talk
real
about
talk.
Akira than like talk about, you know, the weather.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
So like I want to meet people that want to talk about that stuff and hang out with them, but I also, to your point, like it's hard to meet those people to hang out with them and talk about that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
So it's like important to hold on to those. And like, you know, one thing that I always come back to too is like, it's to your point about Tank, about the critique. It's like if you find someone who's like really honest with you about your art or the thing that you are passionate about, that will tell you like it is, you know, not like an asshole, but like they're gonna be. If it sucks, like if you write a song and they're like,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
Yeah,
or
don't
you
release
had a
that.
performance and they're like, that was not good.
Yeah.
That's like way more important to me than somebody who's just like, oh my God, that was amazing. I love.
Yeah.
Like all the time. It's like, okay, yeah, like, you know, everyone likes to be built up, but I like when someone will tell me exactly what they think and be honest and give me, you know, direct feedback. And if there's good things about it, obviously you like to hear that too. But
Right.
I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like getting critique is so important to like generate growth as an artist and as a creative, and like learning more about yourself and how to do things better and differently.
100%.
What's that like for you too? I mean, you talked about like now having a new drummer come into the mix. Like, how do you create those relationships? And like, also how do you respond to something that you don't like, where you're like, let's not do it. Like, how do you say it?
That's hard because I definitely do personally shy away from like, what do you call that?
Confrontation.
Yeah, confrontation. A lot of times.
I'm not a fan of it either.
I don't
Yeah,
love
same.
it, but if it's like, you know, if it's like people you trust and they trust you, I find it much easier. So if you've been working with people and you have an energy with them, it's much easier to be very honest about that kind of stuff and be like, hey man, I don't think that chorus is very good. Like, let's rewrite that, right?
Yeah.
Or let's, you know, we played that last song really slow. Like, I think we should play that more up tempo or whatever. Which, to be fair, I'm always saying we should go up tempo.
Yeah. Faster and louder, faster
I
and
like
louder.
going fast. But yeah, I mean, I think that's like important to be able to like have those conversations, and it's really about trust, at least in my opinion, from like between bandmates. And you kind of know when you play with people if there's like the right energy in the room. And like to your point about a new drummer, sometimes you get someone in there and you're like, oh, this is awesome, and yeah, like great, right? So yeah, that's probably something I would point to. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And I think for me, I'm also a confrontation avoider. But I think just being able to say something like, you know, feel comfortable saying something like, hey, could we try it this way? And making it more like a suggestion than a critique can go a long way when you're with people who are open-minded and collaborative, which I'm very lucky with my bandmates that we all get along really well, and everybody, there are no egos in the room at all. So
Do you think being older has something to do with this? Like you're doing a creative process when you're, you know, in your 30s and 40s, as opposed to being in like your teens and 20s?
that's a great question. I think there's probably some truth to that.
Yeah, there's probably validity to that. I think like when you're in your teens and 20s, you're a lot more volatile, or at least I was.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah.
And emotional.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
this stuff means everything to me, you know. And it's like, all right, man, chill out. Like,
Yeah.
let's take it down a notch.
But now we have mortgages
Yeah.
and careers to worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
like-
we're like, if we're not having fun doing this, then why the hell are we doing
Yeah.
it?
Correct. Yeah, you're not gonna suffer through something that sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
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 This is Let's be real, but let's also be cool. Let's have a balance. let's critique but not be assholes, okay?
Yeah.
All right, we have an understanding.
I think at this age too, you sort of have the confidence to be able to take that criticism without taking it personally, and I think that goes a long way too, to sort of deflate the ego that you might have had when you were younger.
I think it really does go back to like a trust thing too. Like if it's somebody that you know the reason they're telling you something comes from a place of like, hey, this is not like they're not attacking you. They're trying to help you grow too. And I think that's like the understanding, and that comes with a lot of like, think like realizing that about yourself too. And I think when you're like in a teen mental state, you're not thinking about how other people are seeing you. You're only thinking about from your own perspective what's happening, right?
I'm always still amazed that Metallica released Some Kind of Monster documentary where like you got to see their recording process when it was like a complete and total shit show.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Well, they were behaving like they were 14 years old.
it was insane. It's like, okay, Jason Newsted just left the band because he was getting hazed, and now everybody's mad at each and constantly James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich are constantly giving each other shit. And I'm just like, this does not look like fun. This looks horrible.
Yeah.
Like,
Yikes.
why would you pull back the curtain on this?
Because they got to tell you about how their lifestyle is their death style.
That's
man.
true. Well, damn. Checkmate.
Deep thoughts, man.
Checkmate on that one. Yeah, that's always the thing that's just kind of scared me though about working with others is like getting in one of those situations where it's just like I couldn't imagine being in a creative process where like you're on the verge of fist fighting somebody over an artistic vision. Like that seems like it'd be horrible.
Yeah, those guys also had been working with each other at the point of that documentary for what, 30, 40 years at that point?
Yeah,
So to be fair, they'd been together for a long. When did that come out? Like 2006. They'd been a band since like the
early 80s. Yeah.
So that's a pretty substantial amount of time.
Yeah, to
30,
be together.
30 years of being together, touring every day and stuff.
Like
so.
an old married couple.
Yeah, some of that
Very
is
much
probably
so.
like lots of pent up aggression of years of from your teen years all the way up through your 40s or whatever. It's like I can imagine that's probably hard to come to terms with.
It's not really about the snare. It's about back in 1984 in Denmark when you lit my fucking sheets on fire on the tour bus.
Right.
Like that's what it comes back to.
Yeah, there's stuff being held from years and years and years that they're holding on to there for sure.
Okay, so let's move out of the studio for a minute. Let's talk about actually playing out. So, how does this work now? Like, are you guys playing out during the week? Like, is it only weekends? Like, when do you decide to go play somewhere and how?
You want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So my band plays out all the time. we have a really hard time turning down shows unless we're already booked somewhere else. So we primarily play weekends, but like we played a show last Wednesday night and we have another one tomorrow night. So and then we're in Indianapolis on Saturday. So yeah, we starting out, it was a lot of reaching out to venues, trying to get booked, reaching out to other bands, trying to find shows. And it was a really kind of slow process getting started. Now we hardly initiate that process anymore. We're mostly, having people email us and ask us if we can do local support for them while they're coming through town, or having us jump on a show if it's a band that we've played with before. We're getting invited out to other cities a lot. Which is fun and exciting, but also, kind of logistically challenging. Mm-hmm. And if we can make it happen, we make it happen. We all love to play out. We all love to meet other bands and even be on the road together. So our schedule is very full.
Luke, what about you, man? Like, how do you approach this?
Okay, so kind of to my point earlier about how there's, the band that I'm in, and then there's like 2 or 3 other bands that these guys that we share members are in, right? So I'll shout out 2 of the other bands just off the rip here. The Spooky Sips and the Muties are 2 groups that my buddies that I play with in this band, 10 Gauge, are also in. Devin is in both of those bands, and then Jake's also in the Muties. But they've been playing out at like Motor and different bands, places around town and stuff like that, and they get invited to do shows. But because I have 2 children and I like spending time with my children, I really have to pick and choose, and it really comes down to like scheduling with Google and not Google Maps, Google Calendar with my wife, and kind of just figuring out. And I also, again, I sell beer for a living, so I do events with beer and stuff like that. So I try to make it, work and just pick and choose, a couple dates a year if there's availability and the opportunity. I love playing out. It's a lot of fun. The energy you get from a live crowd is like totally different than what you get just practicing with your bandmates. Yeah, it's really, because my kids are young, I choose a couple days a year, and usually it's like house shows and stuff, but yeah, just make it fun stuff to do. I don't know. So weekends, weekdays, it doesn't really matter as long as I have like time to plan it, with my family in mind.
Right on.
So I'm kind of jealous. I'm like, it's one of those things where like you're hearing you talk about how your kids are a little older. I don't want to say I'm like looking forward to that, because
Sure.
I love this age and I love my kids at 4 and 2. But also it is kind of exciting to like have a 15-year-old and be able to like potentially even have them like come to a show or like be into music in a way that like a 4-year-old's not, which my 4 and 2-year-old love music, and love playing guitar with me and stuff, or like I'll like make up songs and sing songs to them and stuff, and they think it's hilarious. But yeah, it's like a different vibe, right? So
Totally.
yeah.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Different stages in life and appreciation. Although it's the kind of thing where it's like, maybe you're planting the seed now for what happens in 10 years.
Totally.
And having that moment.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When you're playing out, do you get to pick the time slot, or is there stuff when it's like, hey, it's Wednesday at 11:30 if you want to be on stage?
It really depends. If we're doing local support, we'll typically either open or close depending on who else is on the bill. Usually a band from out of town doesn't want to close the show because they don't have a local following. So, the concern is that everyone will watch their favorite local band and then leave.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you're the band that has the strongest local pull, usually as just sort of as a courtesy to the touring band, you'll usually close out the night to try to keep a couple people at least around for the whole show. If it's a show that we're setting up, it just really depends. It really depends on who you have on the bill. We're always very flexible. Like we really couldn't care less whether we're opening or closing. It's like we backline our drums a lot, so we're there for the whole time anyway. But there are some people who are a little pickier about it, and we just kind of roll with the punches. But
What are your favorite venues to play in town? Just out of curiosity. And then follow-up question, because I heard you mention it earlier. Where in Indianapolis are you playing this weekend?
Oh, okay. Great question. Favorite places to play in town. We love to play at the Comet.
I love the Comet.
Yeah. I actually really like playing at Legends. We've played there several times. The turnout is generally not great on the west side, especially like on a weeknight.
Yeah. Depends on who's playing that night.
It totally
right?
does. Yeah. And how well the show's promoted. And but it's a great space. It's a great room. We've played a couple of shows at Northside Tavern recently, and that's a really
fun
great
room.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Northside has a lot of good spaces.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yacht Club used to be awesome. I don't think they do shows anymore.
They don't.
I miss it.
I know. It was the best.
Yeah. I still love that place.
Yeah. I like it too. And we've played several times at Oddfellows, and that's a great room too. So I like places like that, like Oddfellows, Tap Room on Ludlow. Those are the types of places that you get your draw, you get your people that are there to see you, but there are also people that are just, walking by and pop in or there for a beer and decide to stay and watch the show or something like that. So those places are cool too.
Which there is something to be said about being a person who comes upon a show, and that can either be awesome or a landmine. It's one of the two.
So
because
true.
you show up and you're like, you hear live music starting and you're like, I didn't sign up for this, but what's happening right now?
Yeah.
And then you look over and you're like, all right, let's see what goes on. And sometimes you get lucky, sometimes it's great. It's like, oh, dude, this rocks. I had no clue this was gonna happen. And then there's other times where it's like, all right, I gotta tap out. Like you gotta I did not know this was going
I can't
on. We gotta
listen
leave.
to these 90s covers again. I've
Yeah.
heard them so many times.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta call it a night.
Yeah.
Has there, and you're not gonna name them, but has there like ever been a venue where you're like, we can't go back? Like, it's just like, it's too gross. Like, it's just, we can't do it.
I don't think so. I guess we have pretty low standards.
No, I think and if you're playing like a rock show, like you don't expect like, the Taj Mahal or
It's
something.
true. Yeah.
doesn't have to be marble and clean
Yeah, I mean,
tile.
there are some places that are pretty seedy not seedy establishments, but they're dingy or not well maintained, but it might sound great and
Yeah.
you might get people, in the crowd that are excited to see you, and that's all that really matters.
Well,
so.
like, not that I'm comparing my band to the Ramones, but if the Ramones can play CBGB, like I can play anywhere. You know what I mean?
It's
like,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen pictures of like CBGB
Yeah.
in the 70s?
Oh.
Filthy.
Yeah, I've somebody made a diorama of the men's room at CBG. And it
Yeah.
was like, dear God, that is terrifying.
Yeah.
Like
An
can't-
interactive
I think I got
live art
herpes just
installation.
looking
Yeah,
at this.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like, oh man, that's the kind of place where it's like, is it safe to do coke off of the sink? I'm not asking you about the coke. Like, just is the sink safe to
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I know. I think that is the thing with the arts though, where like the arts always starts in shitty spots. Like if you want to get on the ground floor and you don't have a backing, it's just like, all right, where can I start out at where like somebody's giving me a chance? And sometimes those places aren't pretty, but that's kind of the charm of it.
It's
It's
kind
true.
of, it also is like, I think of those kinds of places as places where they are willing to accept whatever it is you're presenting.
Yep.
As opposed to a place that maybe wants a specific kind of product. And like, frankly, when I come to music, I'm creating it for myself, and I have no intention of anyone caring about it or wanting to listen to it. And if they do, that's great. I would love to play it for people live. But like at the end of the day, I don't have any kind of like ego about it, and I don't think that I'm gonna like blow up and become big because I'm playing rock music in Cincinnati, Ohio in 2024. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Everything you just said, take out the music part and replace it with my podcast.
Yeah.
I'm 100% with
Hell
you on
yeah.
everything you just said. Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. All right, what about so what is it like being in the green room with other bands? And is there ever a point where like do you ever feel like the old person in the room where like everybody else is like 20 and you're just like, "Hey."
I've not really had that experience.
Yeah, we've played with a pretty good mix of, ages. I don't think there's ever been a time that we've looked around and been like, oh my God, these are all children. We have definitely played with bands with, 20 something year olds in them, but it doesn't really seem to matter that much.
Right.
People are usually pretty excited to like meet you and hear what you have to play. And, yeah, I don't ever really get that.
Yeah, if
that
there's like
feeling.
good energy and respect on both sides,
Yeah.
it won't ever really come up, right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Yep.
What is it like being in a situation where like you're just meeting these people for the first time? Is it how does it work? Is it kind of like being in a locker room or what's the deal with like meeting other bands?
I think it's funny that you would assume I know what it's like to be in a locker room.
It's the only thing I can think
What
of. where,
about
like,
you makes me think that I've ever played a sport?
I'm just trying to think of like what it is to be backstage with other people because I've never been in this situation. And it's the only thing I can think of is like when I played sports. So I guess it's like a locker room where you're just kind of hanging out before the show and just chilling. Like, I've just never been in a situation where like where I've had like 5 other people walk in the room and it's like, oh hey,
Yeah.
you're the shitty crinkles and we're on the bill with you tonight. And
Yeah.
what's happening?
I don't think I've ever played in a place that had like a prototypical green room. It's always been like hanging out at the bar beforehand. You know what I mean? Like if you're at like a motor pub or something, like you're just hanging out and everyone's kind of there in the room. So I don't know. I'm trying to think if I've ever played somewhere where there's been like a green room scenario for me, but I can't really.
Yeah. Southgate House Revival has a green room.
Yeah, right.
A couple of places have like, usually it's like a storage closet or something where they tell you you can hang out before the show. But yeah, most of the time you're out just watching the other bands play.
Right. Well, it's not like, not like either of us is like famous enough to like warrant needing a green room. So it's like
Yeah.
it's like a courtesy to be like, if you want to get away from the noise for a minute. Like,
Yeah. Or there's
you
a place
go.
to stash your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just my romantic notion where all musicians have green rooms.
There's
Of
not
course.
like Iggy Pop
We all
hanging
have
out
riders,
backstage,
too,
like
yeah.
ripping
Yeah.
lines
Yeah.
and like
There's
shooting heroin.
catering.
Yeah. Like y'all get like turkey without
Cold
GMOs.
cuts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's sure. That's in my brain. That's what's
Only
happening.
specific colors of M&Ms.
I had to get Ozzy his 1,000-pound M&Ms.
But as far as meeting other bands, usually you've been networking with these people prior to the show, either to set it up or they've reached out to you. So you already have an idea of, at the very least, what they sound like. it's rare that we're booked on a show where we haven't talked to any of the other bands that are there ahead of time. That only really happens if it's like there's a, booking agency that's posting on Facebook like, hey, I've got this national tour coming through looking for a local band, and they put you on. But generally people I think are pretty excited to meet each other. So I've never really been in a situation that felt weird or uncomfortable meeting other bands. So I don't know.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. I just think it's always interesting, that whole idea of like where you meet somebody for the first time. You've kind of like talked to them online. It's like, oh shit, it's you. We're here. We're doing the thing.
It's a thing that I've noticed happening more in the day and age of not so much Facebook, but like Instagram. It feels like it almost feels like a backdoor to somebody's phone that like you used to have to get their phone number to be able to contact them. But now they have this page where you can just message them immediately. And so there's people that I've met through Instagram, or I've had conversations with on Instagram before I met them actually in person. And it's kind of that weird thing where you're like, oh, I like feel like I know you, but I've never actually talked to you in person. You know what I mean?
That's so true. Yeah, I would agree.
But it's
with
kind of
that.
like a very recent phenomena, because Facebook, that didn't happen as much because you had to like friend requests and stuff. But with Instagram, you can still be close. You can still have like a private Instagram, which, is one thing. But I feel like it's more common to be able to like connect with somebody quickly on there than it would have been 10 years ago through Facebook or MySpace or whatever else,
Yeah. I've had it happen in art a few times, like where you meet other artists, and if you're not at a certain level, you kind of get treated like shittily. But then at the same time, I also recognize it's one of those things where it's kind of the same thing of like having been in like a weightlifting gym or having been in jiu-jitsu, where it's like you're going to meet a lot of people that are going to wash out, so it's not even worth learning their names. It's like, because you meet this person one time, it's like, I'm not even going to try to retain it because we're probably never going to meet again because this guy's probably going to just not be here next time.
Right.
So I kind of get when people kind of do that, but there is also like that weird like level thing of I know who you are, but you don't know who I am. And then and sometimes people can kind of be dicks about it.
Sure.
So,
I know what you're saying.
So yeah, so I'm always interested by like the dynamic of like being on a bill with like a band where it's like, oh, we're like a national touring band, and you're the local support, and like, are people still friendly, or are they just kind of like, oh, well, hey, you're the face in this town tonight, and then whatever.
Yeah, that is an interesting question. We've opened up for a couple national tours, but nobody with a strong enough pull here that anyone would necessarily know who they were. So I haven't interacted with anyone like that I felt like was really like on a totally different level.
A huge ego or anything like
yeah,
that. Right.
Yeah. And all of those bands, even the national tour bands that have like a professional booker setting up their shows for them, have been super friendly and, grateful and interested, and, they'll stick around and watch our set. They don't just like go back to their camper or whatever when they're done playing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll say that like I try to live my life by the golden rule of treat others the way you want to be treated. So like I always try to be nice to people, but I also suffer from the Achilles heel if I don't remember people's names.
Yeah.
And
that's
fuck,
tough
that
one.
sucks, dude.
Yeah, especially if they remember your name.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's the worst.
Well, especially when you have like a cartoon character name where oh, it's Tank. It's like,
Tank,
hey,
yeah, you're gonna get remembered every time.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
are you Scott?
Yeah.
Kyle,
Yeah.
Right.
Ted,
Yeah.
Jim, Bill, Bob.
Keep trying. Yeah.
The best thing to do is introduce that person to someone and hope that they'll say their
That is the sneak attack move.
Yeah.
Yep. So
That
I
is
learned
the
that
move.
being in sales for years now, for over a decade. It's like you go into an account, you bring somebody else, and you say, "Oh, hey, this is so and so from my wholesaler," or "This is so and so my supplier rep," and you kind of let them introduce themselves.
yeah.
That's the move. That is the sneaky move. Yeah.
I like it. Thank you for the pro tips to help me out.
Just always have somebody with you. You gotta have a
always.
sidekick. You gotta have your Robin that you can introduce to everybody.
That's exactly what I need. I just need to like have somebody that's like always there to like, hey, by the way.
Just take Jet with you everywhere.
That's
Hey,
true.
this is Jet.
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 Yeah.
Figure out their name.
Introduce yourself.
100%. This is definitely the way to go. All right. Being up on stage, playing live, how cool is it?
It's really fun.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Well,
It is.
It, like, do you two get nervous when you go on stage, or are you like fun time happens now?
Yeah. I think the first definitely the first couple shows we played, I was a nervous wreck. But now, yeah, I'm like totally stoked. I can't wait to play.
Do you have any preset rituals you go through?
Not, I wouldn't say rituals. I chew a lot of cinnamon trident. And we have a little bit of a shtick where we bring a Mr. Coffee on stage with us, and we brew coffee during our set and then drink it on stage.
Nice.
So it's kind of a ritual, but kind of a gimmick. But yeah, otherwise, no, we hang out, we try to, meet with the other bands and just be ready to go when it's time to go. So.
Hell yeah.
Do you have warm-up rituals or anything?
No, I definitely still get nervous. Not like nervous, but like I definitely feel it in my body, like right before you go on, for like the first song, and then I'm totally immediately fine after that. And I don't have any kind of ritual I do, besides like drink 2 beers or something. Like
Solid ritual.
Nothing,
Solid
yeah,
ritual.
just, like nothing crazy. But I do wanna shout out my all-time favorite rock and roll band, which if you've never heard of them, they're awesome. You should check them out. They're called Dead Moon. And it's a 3-piece husband and wife and a drummer, and they have like the most awesome pre-show ritual, and you can find it on YouTube and stuff. But they have like a Jack Daniel's bottle that has like a candle on it, and they get together and they all like do like this huddle up before they play, and it's just sick. I don't know, but it's my favorite band, so
Cool.
yeah, I've probably shouted them out before on here.
I think, yeah. I mean, they're Seattle, right?
Yeah, they're from Clackamas, Oregon.
Yeah.
So I traveled to Finland to see them back in 2015.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
My wife and I did.
That was dedication.
I just always remember them being in. It was them and Tad and something else and
Tad,
like
oh my God.
yeah, it was that that documentary that was like the alternative VHS tape with like the kid's face with the spiral on it, and they talked about like all the grunge bands that like were the inspiration for like the bands that broke.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Like the
Green
proto
River.
Nirvana stuff.
Yeah.
The proto Alice in Chains stuff. Yeah. They kind of fit in between like a couple things because they're sort of like, I mean, I could get off on a whole tangent about them, but they are definitely like.
I mean, that is the show.
Yeah, well, so they are kind of like proto grunge, right? But they also fit into some of like that garage rock stuff. But Fred Cole was also in a '60s psych band called the Lollipop Shop, and then he and his wife Tootie like took a van up to Alaska or the Yukon and like made a country record. Like, there's all this crazy mythos behind the band, and part of the reason like I got really into them is like their story is fantastic. They like had a bunch of kids, and he was playing in all these bands on the West Coast trying to make it happen in a music career. And they got married, and then at some point he's like, I just need a bassist. He's like, Tootie, you're learning bass, and like she like started playing bass. They had a punk band before, Dead Moon, which Dead Moon is like garage punk, so it's got like elements of other things, right? But she played bass in that band, and they had a bunch of different drummers, and then eventually they found Andrew, and he became the drummer in Dead Moon, and they were like, okay, this is it. And then they did that for like up until Andrew and Fred passed. But
Oh, wow.
like super cool career.
Okay.
Worth checking out. Worth
Okay.
reading the Wikipedia and like listening to a
Okay.
few records. I'd
Yeah,
recommend it,
I'm definitely into it.
I always got nervous before live performance stuff. Like I used to announce roller derby, and so sometimes it was like on a live mic to people in a venue, where a few hundred people or a few thousand people could hear me, or it was like I was online, and then people internationally could watch the the video and hear what I'm saying, and I totally got like the nerves. For a while, and then I got comfortable, and then I got too comfortable, and then I got bored, and I quit. So I think that there is that sweet spot of I don't think being nervous is bad. I think being nervous is good, because then if you're nervous, you're gonna try not to fuck up, and you're gonna try to make it happen. But yeah, definitely like getting into like ritual before going out, like going through the alphabet, voice warm-ups, just hyping each other up, like saying positive things to each other in the back, and just trying to get some energy going, having a few beers, all those kind of things. Like I think it'd be for me, it would be very hard to go on a stage cold and like just show up and make that happen. Like I kind of gotta get jazzed up
Sure.
before I go out and I do something.
I kind of like the nerves, and then like once you get going, the adrenaline starts to flow, and it like all goes away, and it feels like you're just getting washed over with like the energy of the crowd or the people that you're playing to. I was actually in Dallas for a work trip, and like I've sang in front of like people how many times, like tons, right? And I was in Dallas for a work trip, and we were doing like karaoke at the one bar, and there was only like 3 people there, but I was like just like nervous to do my first song, and I waited for like a while. And then I was like, I just need to play. Because I love karaoke and I'd, not done it with these people yet. So I was a little nervous because of that, but I was like, I just need to do a song I know I can just that I love and
Just
I can
nail
sing,
it.
no problem, nail it, right?
Yeah.
So I picked Stooges' Search and Destroy, and it was like,
Nice.
it was like immediately I was like, oh yeah, okay, all right, let's go. You know what I mean? So I think that just stuff like that, it's, I don't know, like getting comfortable, figuring out a way to make the nerves kind of work for you. Is,
You enjoy karaoke? You're a karaoke guy?
I love karaoke.
Heather, are you a karaoke person?
Absolutely.
You're
Yeah, 100%.
It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I got to be so drunk to do it. So drunk.
I love it. Yeah.
I got to get hammered, and then it's like I get hammered, and then it's like, all right, Van Halen's what's happening.
Yeah,
It's
and
like
then you
that
can't
kind of
remember the
thing.
words.
Yeah, where
Yeah,
it's just
right. I
like,
mean, you have a monitor.
Yeah,
right?
it's just like I'm singing Panama. It's like, all right. Let's chill on that. So yeah, but again, it's just it scares because I'm not good at it, and I think that's a thing that like people from a young age you kind of learn. I think it's the reason why a lot of people drop out of the arts is because they recognize they're not good at it, or one of their friends make a comment like you can't sing, or like like what is that, like that's not a drama, and then people are like, okay, I'm gonna stop doing that.
I'm
now.
so cognizant of that right now because my kids are young, they're 4 and 2, and they are like, my son especially, he's 4, he's like picking up on stuff now, right? And so, I went to art school. I draw a lot still to this day. I like to keep drawing. And so I'll draw with him and he'll be like, let's draw Bluey and Bingo, or let's draw Spider-Man or whatever. And I'll draw like a Spider-Man. And he's like, Dad, that's really good. I'm like, you should draw one, bud. You should do a Spider-Man. He's like, no. He's like, I can't do a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So like, I want to make sure I'm like, shit, like I can't draw like a Spider-Man around my kid, or he's never going to want to draw Spider-Man. Like, I want you to draw Spider-Man, man.
I'm inspiring you, not intimidating.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's not
a different
intentional.
eye.
It's just like, it's not even like a good drawing really, like, right? It's like, I'm sketching this out quick, but I think, it's like, you gotta like, I don't know. I guess I'm bringing it back around to kids. Like, I think about that all the time now. Cause I'm like, I want you to want to get into the arts and be like interested in music and painting and all that stuff. And my kids they love that stuff. We play with Play-Doh, we paint, all that kind of stuff. But, it's so important. I mean, right? Like, the arts are so important.
Yeah.
We need to fund them.
Are you in a
Yes.
similar boat? Or is that a thing where like you're trying to get your kids into art, or is it a thing where like are they into sports and you're like, how's this happening?
So my son he's really not into art. He never really was. I mean, he drew some pictures and stuff growing up, but
Or just like the arts, like theater or like music or
yeah,
anything.
he did. I did try to get him into theater because he's a very gregarious, confident kid. And he did theater for a little while, but it didn't really take off. But he does play guitar and he's super into it, and he's writing music now, which is cool to see.
Is he into the same kind of stuff you are, or is he into like different genres?
He's got a pretty eclectic palette, but it always cracks me up to hear his playlists because there will be like a Muff song that comes on or a Rancid song that pops up or something like that. So that's always kind of like, oh. And he had some friends over a few nights ago just fooling around on the drum kit that we have in our basement, and his friend brought a bass over, and that was like so heartwarming to hear them down there noodling around because it was just like, yeah. And then my daughter is very artistic. Both of my daughters go to SCPA, and my middle daughter, the 8-year-old, is currently double majoring in dance and fine arts. She's going to have to pick one or the other at the end of this year, but she's a lot like I was as a kid. She like every worksheet she ever brought home from school had drawings on the back of it.
Yeah.
It's like
What
she
are
keeps,
notes? What are
Yeah,
notes? What a place to draw more stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
I want to get my homework done as fast as possible so I can flip the page over and draw a picture.
Yeah.
She keeps a sketchbook under her pillow so she can doodle at night.
That's
It's
awesome.
like-
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Where did she get? Did she get dancing from you or Dimitri? Like where? Like, I'm always impressed by dance because it's like the most like on the Venn diagram. It's the one that overlaps with sports the most. Where
Oh,
it's like
sure.
it's like you have to be creative, but you also have to be athletic to do this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, she from the time she was teeny tiny, she was really interested in ballet. She used to, when she was like 2 years old, she used to ask me to turn the Nutcracker on YouTube so she could watch and put her little tutu on and dance around. So we signed her up for dance lessons like right when she turned 3. And she took dance at a local studio up until COVID. And then, we took some time off. But since she's at a CPA, that's part of her curriculum now. So
Nice.
starting in 4th grade, you have to audition and then choose a major. And so she's on the double track right now. But yeah, she loves it. She's good at it. I took dance when I was really little, but not seriously. I don't have a lot of athletic prowess.
I took dance for a while.
Did you?
Did
Yeah,
you?
I did tap and jazz.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, I had a football coach when I was in middle school. It was like, a lot of football players take dance
Really?
to
Yeah.
like, improve their footwork because I was
that
like a
makes
wide
sense.
receiver. And I was like, okay. And I went and took it. And my mom's like, that's really cool. My brother did it with me. My neighbor across the street. There was like 4 guys that we all knew each other, and we did it together. And it was
that's cool.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. So it was all guys, and we did tap and jazz, and yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Just the amount of balance that you learn out of it. Like, you learn balance and rhythm.
Yeah.
Like, and which, wow, what incredible things to learn how to do.
Yeah.
Because with rhythm, like, you can now confidently dance at any social function. You're always on time when you're clapping.
That was definitely like a really nice part about it is like as an adult, one of the things I appreciated about it most, and like, thanks mom, if you're listening, was like, anytime you're at like a wedding or like even in like college or whatever, you're like at a party or something, like I was never like intimidated to like go up and like dance
cool.
with people and stuff, whereas like I know a lot of other guys would just be like sitting there against the wall
Like, I don't know how to move my
I don't know
pelvis.
how to move my body because I mean
Hi, guy who didn't know how to move his body over here. Yep.
yeah, so I mean
Can't confirm.
it's kind of awesome because I definitely was a lot more confident in that regard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, that is like one of those things where looking back on it, it's like, I wish I had, because like, and especially now, like watching people who are growing up during TikTok and Fortnite, like everybody has poses and dances now.
Yeah.
Everybody, like every kid has like a thing where they're like,
I've learned a couple of those like silly
yeah,
Fortnite
exactly.
dances.
Yeah,
those things and
yeah,
stuff.
everybody has one now, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have known this when I was a kid. Because I mean, like I went to college, I tried to hit on girls, and they're like, "You want to dance?" I'm like, I don't understand how this works. I'm kind of very much
Robot,
like kind of a karate robot. That's my moves. A lot of karate robot going on. Not moving the legs. Very white guy. Got to keep these like very planted stands, and maybe a little bit with the hips.
Okay. I mean,
Maybe a little hips.
Yeah, hey, better nothing,
That's-
Karate hips. Karate
yeah, if
hips.
you can move your hips, that's
Yeah.
that's a big.
Yeah, we're making we're evolving the game. But
awesome.
but recently I was listening to a podcast and one guy was like, "Did you know like when you listen to music, if you just move your feet to the drums, that's how you dance?" And I was like, so next wedding, get ready.
All right.
Ready.
That's awesome.
I'm going to test this theory out, see what happens.
Until you start listening to like speed metal or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
blast beats.
Yeah,
blast
yeah.
beats, yeah.
Yeah, I go someplace and they're like, "We're just going to play Slayer War Ensemble." I'm like, I don't know what's happening at a wedding, but here we
We're
go.
gonna play Rain and Blood at a wedding. Yeah.
It's like I'm having a seizure.
What's wrong with that? I don't know.
Dancing to the drums, man. Just dancing to the drums.
Just dancing drums. Open bar, dancing drums.
That's awesome.
All right. So you get off stage, you've done the thing. It's time to pack it up. It's time to go home. What's it like doing that? Like, what is it like packing up the gear, getting to the car, putting everything in, and now it's like, we got to drive like an hour home.
Yeah. It depends on how the gig went. Sometimes that's like you're still kind of riding that high. Like we played a great set. We had a good time. We made good friends and everybody's in a good mood. And it doesn't matter that it's 2:00 in the morning and you still have to unload all your shit. If it wasn't a great show, then it's kind of like, oh my God, we have to pack all this shit up. Nobody even came to see us play. Now we got to unload it all. I'm going to get like 3 hours of sleep tonight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it really varies, but generally it's like, the perspective that I try to have is that I'm doing something that I love to do. I'm doing it with my best friends. We almost always have a good time together and I feel very lucky to be able to do it. So I try not to get too in my head about like, was that a good show or was it a bad show?
Yeah, and I always like after you're done, like there's always a conversation with somebody that happens, right, about the set or like, oh, I thought of this band when you guys were playing or whatever, and like that stuff's awesome. So like it never feels like work to be like wrapping up a guitar cable while you're talking to somebody about that stuff or like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think like regardless of if it's late, I always am like, because I just like my sleep. I'm always like, oh my God, I'm not even gonna get 6 hours of sleep. Like, I'm not gonna get 6 hours of sleep. Like, that's always in the back of my head because I like to get 6 hours plus. But yeah, it's usually it's like super cool. Like, I don't even think about it as like something that's like a thing you have to do after you're done. It's just I don't know. Yeah, it's you tied into something else. You're having a conversation or like riding the high, like you said. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You might even get someone coming up to you asking you to sign a record that they just bought from your merch table.
From your
So
brand
that's
new
like,
LP that's available on Bandcamp.
which is like super cool. So
That does feel good. When somebody
Yeah.
asks you to sign something, it's like, I mean, I'll do it, but okay. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this. Like, all right. Yeah, it does. It does. It is a cool moment when somebody does say that to you. When somebody's like, hey, can you sign this? It's like, oh, sure. Yeah.
Might be worth something someday.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, exactly. There is always that too. It's like, I wouldn't bet on it, but yeah, there's a possibility. Who knows? We'll see what happens. We'll see where the cards go on me putting my name on this thing I just drew.
The stuff, not to get too far off on a tangent, but the stuff that no one cares about now is the stuff that's worth a bunch of money 40 years from now. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah,
Think
true.
about about baseball cards. Like the baseball cards they put in like cigarette packs in the 50s and stuff. No one cared about those. They got thrown in the trash. Now those are the ones worth money. The ones when they made a million of them in the 80s and the 90s. Those are worth dirt, like for the most part. And so,
or
it's
with like with vinyl records too, it's like always the thing that was misprinted
Yeah.
or that
Yeah.
like the cover got banned and they
the
had
butcher
to like
cover.
yes,
the old butcher cover.
that's what I was
I knew
thinking
you were
about.
going with that. Yeah, yeah, that's the stuff that gets
Yeah.
getting.
I mean, for our generation, it's definitely retro gaming. Like,
Yeah.
and in VHS tapes right now.
Yeah.
Both of those things are very hot for nostalgia.
Really?
Yeah.
VHS
yeah.
tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, VHS
Dead
tapes.
media.
Yeah, dead media is
Okay.
definitely a thing right now. And
Interesting.
yeah, I have a few SNES games, NES games in that closet back there that I'm saving, and I'm just gonna keep sitting on for about another decade, and then I'm gonna sell them for lots of money because I have
That's
them.
my retirement plan.
Yeah.
Tank Mansfield.
I still play my NES games.
I do too. I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listener, do not break into my house. I have cameras and guns. All right, let's be cool about this.
And a vicious attack dog.
Vicious
Yeah.
stack dog. Yeah, but yeah, I'm with you in terms of like the whole post show thing can be up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely like come out of art shows like we did that one, and you and I did that one in Dayton
Yep.
where nobody showed up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was like
It was a cool space though.
it was a great space. Everybody's very cool. We had a great after
Yeah.
party at the Barrel House, but
Yeah.
it was just like, fuck, this hurts right now because nobody is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then having the other side of it where it's like people come out and it's great and you sell some stuff. And it's like, oh, this is a great night. Or like, you just have a lot of people come out and like they check everything out. It's like, oh, this is so good. So yeah.
Yeah.
See, and you put that show on, so you're remembering that a certain way. Whereas I was there just with a painting in the show, and I like had a blast and went to Barrel House and had a good time meeting new people. And I was like, I look back at it fondly. I'm like, oh, that was fun. Like I got to hang out with a bunch of cool, art nerds and
Yeah.
drink some beers and stuff. So
We played a show like the first or second weekend in January up in Hamtramck, which is a
Michigan,
subdivision
yeah,
of
yeah.
Detroit.
yeah.
And we had booked this show like months in advance with this band that we were really excited to play with up there. And then there was like this gigantic snowstorm that rolled in like as we were driving up. And so the band that we were supposed to play with had to drop out. The band that we found to sub in ended up dropping out. We got to the bar. We were already there. It's like, what are we going to do?
We're
So
here.
yeah, so we got to the bar and loaded in, and we played a 2-ish hour set to the sound guy and the bartender.
Hey.
Nobody came, but we had a blast. We played every song we knew how to play, including a bunch of covers.
Nice.
Alex did this whole like sort of history of the board of directors, like in between songs, like
Yeah.
talking
Okay.
to the bartender.
Cool.
You're just
We had
hanging
so
out,
much
having
fun.
a good time.
Yeah, it
drinking
was
beers,
like,
yeah.
like we were having band practice with the sound guy.
Yeah.
Like it was so much fun, and yeah. So I think a lot of it just kind of depends on your perspective with
Yeah.
those sort of bomb experiences. But
I mean, everybody's got to have one, right? I mean, if you're in the arts, everybody eats a dick sometimes. Like, there's no way you go 100%.
Yeah, you got to find the
Right.
silver lining. I mean,
For
in any
sure.
situation like that, right? I mean, yeah, even like you said, you had a good time still when we were in Dayton. I still had a good time there. you
Yeah.
know? I remember that show in Dayton because that was the one where my painting was falling apart slowly.
Yeah.
It was like melting apart. I was like, what is happening? It's a long story, but yeah. It was funny.
Well, look, before we get out of here, was there anything we didn't hit upon that you two want to talk about with being in bands or music you're creating?
You got anything? I don't know. I love everything about playing music. I recently, so I've got a couple guitars, obviously. I have one guitar that the nut is screwed up on and the low E string just buzzes constantly. And I was like, I'm just gonna do like banjo tuning on this, like open G and cut the E, like that's what Keith Richards used to do. And so I have a Keith Richards guitar now.
Nice.
But I've been playing that for the last couple days, and everything you play on that sounds like a Stones song. And you're like, oh, everything he did is just because of this tuning, and it like opens your eyes, like stuff like that. I mean, I'm in my mid 30s and like realizing stuff about instrument that I've played for, 20 years at this point. So I don't know. It's fun. Like, it's like art. It's like you'll learn things constantly, and as long as you're like looking for new, exciting things to do, I find it to be like a really rewarding pastime. And playing with people is super cool and fun, and playing with new people. I always tell people, like, I don't care if you've been playing, guitar, bass, drums for like a week. I'll play with you. I'll play with you. You've been playing for 30 years. It doesn't matter. Like, I just love playing music.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a songwriter, and I'm always curious because all the different people I talk to and like podcasts I listen to, it seems like everyone's approach to songwriting is different, and I'm always curious to hear how people approach it.
You're asking me how I approach songwriting?
That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like I approach it similarly to how I approach any art, which is I kind of just like see what sticks. And like when I do painting and stuff, I attack it and I go in and I draw stuff and I paint over things. I don't like, there's people that go in and they have a very clear idea of what they want to do every time they go into making something, and they like really finely pick where they're putting things and put it together. Whereas I'm like a little sloppier, and I'm just kind of like, accidents happen and then you figure out how to make them work. And I would say songwriting is the same for me. A lot of times I like to start with like a riff or a chord progression and then kind of build from there. And then, I like putting it down and coming back to it later, and then realizing like, oh, there's this like other guitar part that could go here, or like these would be better drums or whatever it is. And so I take sort of an approach where I just, have an idea of like the kinds of songs I like to play, what I want to play. If I want to write like a country guitar thing, or like like a punk rock ballad, or whatever, it's like I just come to it with that in mind, and
It just sort of organically.
just organically figure it out. Yeah,
That's cool. Do you write lyrics?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you usually start with music and then write lyrics?
Yeah,
Or? Okay.
yeah. Usually, I do try to keep. Usually, I go that direction, but I do also just like write things down that when I come to me, like phrases or like a couple of lines of poetry or whatever. I will like write that stuff down, because if you don't write it down, it just disappears, right?
Sure,
And I have sketchbooks that I use for painting and drawing, so I put them in those sometimes. Sometimes I put them in specifically like a notebook for lyrics. I use my phone a lot of times. I find that like also the phone app, there's like an app on the iPhone that's like voice memos. I use that a lot, which I know a lot of people use that because it's
if
like
you get a melody or
you get a
something,
melody
you
in your
can
head,
just-
and you're like, if I don't record this immediately, like I'll be getting into the shower and I'll be like, oh, that's a good idea, and I'll like get my phone and just like sing it into the phone and then put it down, and like after I'm out of the shower, I'll go back and look at it.
Yeah.
And part of like being a parent in bands and doing music is like every moment that you have a possible chance to like even just pick up a guitar and play like 3 or 4 chords and like think about something is a moment that you like have to take advantage of, because you don't get many of those.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old who just like constantly want to play with you all the time. And so yeah, I just like any moment that I have that I can get an idea down, I use,
Yeah.
So, and unlike one of the things I said earlier is I like to play guitar with my kids, and like if I'm up, we have the 3rd floor of our house is like where I keep all my guitars, and is also like their playroom kind of. So like they'll be up there playing, and I'll just like sit up there and like play chords and like sing nonsense songs about my kids.
Yeah.
And just make up lyrics, and sometimes they just keep playing, they don't care, and sometimes they like stop and they like laugh and they're like, that's really funny, Dad, but yeah, I mean anything that you can do to just kind of keep thinking creatively, I think is always good.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Is songwriting, is it usually music first and then lyrics, or is it lyrics first and then music? Like, do you two have a breakdown on that from
don't-
like bands you've been in?
I don't think there's like a wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
I think probably it just depends on the songwriter and what they're more comfortable doing. And I do it both ways because sometimes you have like a couple ideas of like lyrics that you're like, oh, this is like a cool idea for lyrics, but I don't have chords for it. And then you like kind of sing it and figure out a melody and then find chords to go over top of it. And then the reverse is true too. So it just depends on like what comes first. Did you think of a riff or did you think of lyrics? You know?
Yeah.
There's
Some people, sorry,
no, you're
I don't
okay.
mean to keep it around.
No, it's
some people like
really interesting to me.
Some people will like primarily be more of like a lyrics person, you know, like so. Think of like Elton John, right? So he wrote the music for all of his songs, but he had I forget the guy's name who was the lyricist he worked with that wrote a lot of the lyrics for his songs, and so it's like there's kind of these two guys. One is really good at one thing, one is good at another.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of songwriters who kind of fall in one of those camps. They're an Elton John or they're this other guy who wrote the lyrics, and then they meld the other part into it. And then some people do both, which I kind of do that. So I don't know. I think it just depends. I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, it was I was interested to hear where you come from on that. There's a podcast. Krista makes a podcast. One of the singers from Less Than Jake. Where they do that. They take like a song and they'll break it down like from the inception of the song, the whole songwriting process, the recording process. And it's always just so fascinating to me how people come to it so differently.
Here's another like example too of an unwritten song that I've had an idea for like sincerely 10 years. I have this one riff I play on my guitar over and over again and over and over and over again. And it's like, it sounds so good. And it's just like a lead riff. And that's all it is. And that's all it's ever been. I've never been able to write the rest of the song, but I'm like, at some point it's going to like click in my head and be like, oh, that's where I want to take that. And so I think there's just like those little things, like you can have the fraction of an idea that leads to all this other stuff. It's just like drawing though. I mean, you might be like sitting here looking at, you have these skeletons of,
the French bulldog skeletons.
French bulldog skeletons on the speakers here, and you might like start drawing a French bulldog skeleton, and then be like, "What if he had a cigarette?" and like put a cigarette in his mouth? Oh, and then you just start. I'm gonna give him like a glass dome over his head, like he's an astronaut, and then you just like the idea spiral out from there, and that's I find that's like a fun way to work.
I think it's interesting to me because like I'm trying to, as a non-musician, like try to approach this and figure out like if I was going to do this, like would I make the music first, would I make the lyrics first? And then I immediately think of my day job as an instructional designer where like are things based around either you make your MLOs first, your module learning objectives, where what is the student learning in the module, or you make the assignments first and then you retrofit the module learning, the MLOs after it. And it's just like, okay, like you can kind of in those situations, like choose, do you want to do this first or this first? And it seems that way kind of in music where you can kind of, for me, it would make sense for the majority of stuff to be like, okay, put the music first, get the beat down and then make the lyrics around it. But sometimes it's like, okay, it does make sense to have a very powerful statement or a story you're trying to tell, make the lyrics first. But then when I try to compare it to like making art, it's like, for me, the process is the same every time where everything is like, I start out writing things down in the sketchbook and then I draw the things that I write down in a very loose sketch. Then I bring it in, then I loosely sketch it in, then I ink it, then I color it. So like, it's the process of it. And and I think that's the thing where it's like, everybody has a different process and it's just like, what works for you? Like, how does this thing, what makes sense?
Yeah.
And I think there's a majority way that works for most arts, but it's not the way that works for everybody in arts.
Yeah, because there are people who are very process oriented like that.
Yeah.
Like I always tell my wife, she did journalism and photography in college, but I always tell her, I was like, if you were an art student, you would have been a printmaker because she loves process, and her hobbies now reflect that. Where she does like she has like a Tufton gun and makes rugs and does things that you're like. I could just see you being a printmaker because so much of that, which I always hated printmaking because I hated
Repetition.
the process of. Yeah, I loved the way it looked when it was done.
Yep.
I loved making designs for it. I hated the actual creation of the prints, right? So like I was always like anti-process. I was the other side of that where I was like, I just want to like throw shit at a canvas and figure it out and do stuff that, was very spur of the moment, more Jackson Pollock sort of configuration of like thinking. But I forget where I was going with that. But yeah, I think like you can do process or like non-process, I guess. What's the opposite of process?
Yeah. Well, and I think it is, again, it's this thing with the arts where it's like there's there's multiple avenues you can go down, but as an artist, you have to pick which way works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like there is definitely like kind of proven theories where it's like, hey, if you do this, you will get a product.
Yeah.
But at the same time, does that work for you in the way that you formulate things and you plan
Mm-hmm.
things and what you're trying to express?
And what is your end game too? Because if you're making a design for like a logo for somebody, like that's different than if you're just making a painting for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So to music too, it's like if you're making a song for a specific purpose, like a jingle for a cigarette ad or something, or if
Yeah.
you're just making like a song for a record you're creating, like that's two different avenues, but you're creating music in both of those cases, right?
Have you watched We Are the World yet? Have you seen this yet? I know we talked about it.
The night of music or whatever. I haven't seen it yet. No.
Have you seen this yet on
No.
Netflix? Oh my god, it's awesome! Yeah, please, everybody, go watch this. It's it's the story of how it is We're the World or
Yeah.
We
It's
Are the World.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We
It's
are
Lionel Richie's
united.
like home videos
Yeah.
of We Are the World created.
And
being
it's
created.
insane because it's this whole thing where it's like everybody in this is like the premier people of the 80s and pop, and just how this night unfolds and like how poorly planned it was and just everything. At one point, Waylon Jennings walks out because Stevie Wonder, because the whole thing was they were like, look, we got to do this at the American Music Awards. We got like a very limited time. Like we're in the studio for like maybe a few hours. We got to get this in. Like we can't improvise anything. We can't do anything. Like just read what's on the sheet and sing it, and we're going to do it. And they start doing it, and there's no air conditioning. Everybody starts sweating under these lights. And at one point, Stevie Wonder is like, we should add Swahili. And then starts singing, like tries to like sing Swahili, which has nothing to do with anything that's going on with where the song is at. And Waylon Jennings just goes, I ain't singing no goddamn Swahili, and just walks out, and nobody stops him, which is the funniest part. I don't know which is funnier, the fact that like Waylon Jennings is fucking pissed that Stevie Wonder is doing this, or the fact that everybody's like, let him go. Just let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, listener, check it out. It's great.
I do need to
hilarious.
watch it. You mentioned that. And then somebody else mentioned it to me like a day later, and I still haven't seen it. But I was like, okay, I need to watch this
Yeah,
thing.
it's so good. It's just such a weird like capsule in time thing where it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Well, look, let's end with this. What's the future? What do you two want to keep like? I'm guessing you both want to keep making music on some level.
Yeah.
Do you have goals? Do you have things you want to hit? Is there places that you want to go? Is there things you want to make? Like, what's the future?
Yeah, I just want to keep writing and recording songs because I really find it to be a lot of fun. And then as opportunities arise, continue to play out and about. I've been talking to the other bandmates I have about that, trying to find some opportunities this year. Just keep working on stuff. You know, I do stuff on my own and then find time to hopefully get together with those guys and record and write more with them. It's a lot of fun. All of it. I like all of it. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, same with me. I just, it's a lot of work, but it's so much fun. And it's been really rewarding for me. You know, like I said, I kind of touched on this earlier, just being able to make friends at the age that I'm at right now has been really an unexpected and exciting sort of side effect of playing music with people again. I really don't have specific goals for either myself or our band. It's just, for me, it's about just having fun with my friends and making art together and just kind of seeing where that takes us. So
Yeah, I would say the same. There's nothing better than like just being creative and making something that didn't exist previously with other people that are like-minded and stuff. So
yeah, it's so exciting. Even, when we make like silly videos or whatever that nobody's watching, but like I'll watch them 500 times because they just make me smile. So yeah.
I think that goes back to our thing earlier about talking about like just, the human process of like being friends with people and like having connections is, I think creating stuff too also gives you purpose and drive and a reason. And it's fun. It's fun to make stuff.
Yeah.
I can't imagine not making things. Like to me, that's weird. And there's a lot of people that don't make stuff, and I just don't understand like.
No, I agree. It's
how
such
that
a
works.
natural impulse that like if I go for a couple weeks without like just doodling something, I'm like, what is wrong with me right now? Like if I'm not drawing or recording music or playing an instrument or doing something in that sort of avenue, it's just like, it feels like a waste. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's it for? Probably just me, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I need to make things. I need to
Yeah.
create stuff because if not, then it just kind of builds up and pressurizes in my head, and then things get like really weird and bad. So keep making things.
Yeah.
It's so
cathartic.
therapeutic and
Yeah.
cathartic, and yeah, there's a lot of good to come from it.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
Well, look, let the people know where they can find you. Luke, where can people find you online?
General Walcott is my IG handle, and then 10 Gauge is my band, and we're on Apple Music, Spotify, Bandcamp, YouTube, all that good stuff.
Heather, where can people find you at?
My Instagram handle is Stumbleen, which is STUMBALENE. My band is Alex Kasnell and the board of directors. Kasnell is KASZNEL. And if you search that word alone, you will find us on multiple streaming platforms, Bandcamp, YouTube, social media. And also check out the Company Picnic Music Festival, which is
Hell yeah.
March 23rd
March 23rd
at Oddfellows.
here in Cincinnati.
Come out.
In OTR. It's
Come
going to
on
be a
down.
good time. Yeah, come on down.
Listener, you can find me at Neo to Know on Instagram. The link tree's over there. You can find everything else from there. Thanks for listening to What You Into. If you got a friend that's in a band, share the episode with them. Algorithms suck. I'm not willing to pay a lot of money to have the algorithm work for me. But you know what really works for me? People listen to the show and they text their friends or they talk to their friends and they go, hey, check this show out. What You Into? Where this guy sits in his basement, talks to people about their fandoms, hobbies, and collections. Over 150 episodes. Everyone is evergreen. So jump in wherever you want. Don't start with episode 1. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing back then. So, get in where you fit in. Luke, Heather, both, thank you so much for coming out and doing the show tonight. Really appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me
This
again.
is a blast.
All right, listener, peace.